My wife invited her affair partner to our anniversary dinner. Hey Reddit, I never thought I'd be the guy writing here, but I need help. Yesterday was supposed to be one of the happiest nights of my life, our 7th wedding anniversary. My wife, Tara, and I have been together for almost a decade. We've had our ups and downs, but I genuinely thought we'd weathered the worst and grown closer. I even took the day off work, spent hours picking out her favorite flowers, and made a reservation at the restaurant where we had our first date. I was nervous in that first love kind of way. I wanted the night to be special. We've been busy lately, barely had time for each other, and I thought maybe this dinner could help us reconnect. I even ironed a shirt she always compliments. As I left the house, flowers in hand, I was hopeful, excited, and even. I had no idea how hard everything was about to come crashing down. So we arrive at the restaurant. Tara looks stunning. She went all out with her hair and makeup, which makes me even more eager for the night ahead. We get seated, start with a glass of wine, and have the usual small talk. Then, just as I'm about to hand her the flowers, she glances at her phone, stands up, and waves someone over. I turn and see a man I barely recognize. Tall, well-dressed, maybe a little too confident for a stranger. This is Mark, she says, a little too quickly. He's a friend from work. He just happened to be here. Can he join us for a bit? My stomach drops. I force a smile, not wanting to make things awkward, but inside, I'm confused. Our anniversary dinner, and she invites someone else? Tara insists it's a funny coincidence, but I catch the way she looks at him, just for a second. I can't place it yet, but it makes me uneasy. I remind myself not to jump to conclusions. Still, the night feels off from that moment on. The mood shifts instantly. I try to keep the conversation light, asking Mark how he knows Tara. He answers smoothly, too smoothly, honestly. We work together on a couple of projects. Tara's always talking about you, he says, flashing a grin that feels practiced. Tara laughs a little too hard. She barely touches her wine, which is weird because she usually loves a glass on special occasions. I feel like an outsider at my anniversary. The two of them share inside jokes and stories I've never heard. Every time I try to steer the conversation back to something personal, Mark finds a way to shift it back to work or something only he and Tara know about. My heart is pounding, but I keep telling myself I'm overreacting. Still, there's an undercurrent. Sometimes I catch them exchanging glances when they think I'm not looking. It's subtle, but it's there. I start to wonder. Am I imagining this, or is there something going on right in front of me? As dinner goes on, I start to notice little things that don't add up. Tara is unusually tense. She keeps checking her phone, and her laughter is just a bit too forced. Mark keeps complimenting her, not in the casual way coworkers might, but with a warmth that makes my skin crawl. At one point, Tara reaches for her glass, and Mark's hand brushes hers. She snatches her hand away, but it's too late. I saw it, and so did he. There's an awkward pause, like they're both suddenly hyper-aware that I'm watching. They talk about restaurants they've been to, shows they've seen, things I didn't even know Tara liked. My chest tightens as I realize just how out of the loop I am. I want to ask, how do you know so much about each other? But I bite my tongue, trying not to cause a scene. The worst part? Tara barely looks at me anymore. I feel like a ghost at my table, the third wheel in my marriage. Halfway through the meal, the tension is unbearable. I try to focus on my food, but every bite feels like swallowing glass. Tara and Mark keep exchanging glances, quick, loaded looks that say way more than words. I start to replay our last few months in my head. Tara working late, secretive with her phone, distant at home. I brushed it off as stress, but now I'm not so sure. I excuse myself to the restroom to breathe. My hands are shaking. I splash water on my face, stare at my reflection, and ask myself if I'm being paranoid. But deep down, I know what I saw isn't normal. I resolve to pay closer attention when I get back to the table. If something is going on, I need to know. I need proof. Walking back, I catch Tara and Mark leaning in close, their heads almost touching. They jerk apart when they see me. My heart is pounding so hard I can barely hear myself think. Something is seriously wrong. Back at the table, I force myself to smile and act normal, but my mind is racing. Mark starts talking about a conference they went to last month, a trip Tara told me was just for her team. She goes pale for a split second before recovering. Oh, right, you were there too, weren't you? She says, not meeting my eyes. I push for details, trying to sound casual. Mark fills in the blanks easily, like they've rehearsed this story before. Every detail feels like a puzzle piece clicking into place. Late nights, unexplained absences, sudden new interests. I notice Tara keeps fiddling with her necklace, a nervous habit she has when she's hiding something. For a second, I consider pulling her aside, but I don't want to make a scene. Not yet. Instead, I quietly decide I'm going to find out what's going on. I start watching every word, every gesture, waiting for a crack to show. At this point, my whole body feels tense. Anger, fear, betrayal, and confusion swirling inside me, all fighting for space. The evening drags on. I barely hear what anyone's saying, hyper-focused on every detail. Mark orders dessert for the table, then casually mentions a running joke only he and Tara seem to get. She laughs and reaches out, almost touching his arm before pulling back. I notice her wedding ring glinting in the candlelight, like a reminder of everything I thought we had. At one point, Tara's phone lights up on the table. The preview of a message flashes. Last night was amazing. Can't wait for she snatches her phone before I can read more. My blood runs cold. Mark's face tightens for a second before he tries to cover it with a joke. I'm done pretending. I watch the two of them, waiting. The betrayal is starting to feel real, not just imagined. My hands are clenched under the table, and I know I can't keep this to myself much longer. There's a storm building inside me. All I need is one more sigh, one more slip. I can barely keep my voice steady as I force myself into their conversation. So, how long have you two been so close? I ask, trying to sound casual. Tara laughs, a brittle, unnatural sound. Don't be silly, it's just work stuff, she says, not meeting my eyes. Mark jumps in, saying how everyone at the office is tight-knit, but neither of them is convincing. I see Tara's hands shaking, her nails digging into her palm under the table. I excuse myself again. This time, I take my phone and, sitting in the empty hallway, search Mark's name on social media. The first thing I see is a selfie of Mark and Tara together at a music festival from 3 weeks ago. She told me she was with friends from college that night. The comments and emojis under the post are flirtatious, not just friendly. My heart sinks. I scroll further and see more evidence. Inside jokes, photos, subtle tags. The truth is staring me in the face, clearer than ever before. I feel like I'm going to be sick. This isn't just paranoia. It's betrayal, undeniable and right in front of me. My mind races as I head back to the table. I can barely feel my legs. The romantic music in the background sounds warped, far away. Tara and Mark are whispering when I return, their conversation stopping dead when they spot me. I slide back into my seat, my jaw tight. I look Tara in the eyes. Who's texting you? I ask quietly, trying to keep my voice from shaking. She stammers, just a friend from work, nothing important. I turn to Mark. You two seem to know each other pretty well. Anything you want to tell me? His smile falters, eyes darting to Tara. Silence hangs in the air, heavy as lead. The world around us shrinks to just this table. Tara's hand trembles as she sets her fork down. I see the panic, the guilt, and for the first time, fear. I feel strangely calm, almost outside my own body. I know I can't ignore this any longer. This is the moment. I won't let it pass. I take a breath and steady myself, my voice just above a whisper. I saw your phone, Tara, and I've seen the photos online. I know you haven't been honest with me. The words hang there. For a moment, Tara just stares at me, frozen. Mark looks away, shifting uncomfortably. Tara's face crumples, tears welling up in her eyes. It's not what you think, she chokes out, but even she sounds unconvinced. Mark tries to jump in. Look, man, maybe we should talk somewhere private, but I cut him off with a shake of my head. No, I think everything needs to come out now. The people at the tables around us sense the tension, some pretending not to listen, others openly staring. Tara covers her face with her hands, sobbing. I feel a cold, hollow ache inside me, but there's relief, too. Relief that I finally said it, that I'm not crazy, that the truth is out. All I ever wanted was honesty. Now it's time to face the fallout. The silence is excruciating. Tara tries to explain, her words tumbling out between sobs. How things got complicated at work, how she never meant to hurt me, how she felt lonely and lost. I hear her, but it's like there's a pane of glass between us now. Mark mutters a half-hearted apology, eyes fixed on his plate, shrinking smaller by the second. I ask Tara, straight out, how long has this been going on? She hesitates, then finally admits months. The confirmation hits me like a punch. For a moment, I can't speak. I just nod, numb. We leave the restaurant in silence. No one looks at us as we walk out, but I feel everyone's eyes on our backs. Outside, Tara begs me to come home with her, to talk, to work it out. I tell her I need time. I get in my car and drive, hands shaking the whole way. Every mile from that restaurant feels like miles from the life I thought I had. I'm angry, broken, but strangely, also free. That night, I didn't go home. I drive aimlessly, phone buzzing with Tara's desperate texts and missed calls. I end up at my brother's place, wordlessly crashing on his couch. The next morning, I told him everything. Saying it out loud hurts, but it's also a relief. He listens, doesn't judge, just tells me I did the right thing by confronting her. I called in sick to work. I can't face anyone, not yet. Tara keeps reaching out, sending long messages begging for another chance, blaming herself, swearing it's over with Mark. I don't reply. My world feels smaller, quieter, hollowed out. For days, I have barely eaten. I replay every memory, every lie, questioning what was real. The house is silent and unfamiliar when I finally go back to pack a bag. Tara isn't there, but her presence lingers everywhere. In the pictures on the wall, the scent of her perfume, the anniversary card she never gave me. It's a different kind of loneliness, but at least it's honest. Word gets out quickly. My parents called, shocked and concerned. Some friends want details, others offer quiet support. Everyone has advice. Leave her, forgive her, take your time. It's overwhelming, but I'm grateful to not be completely alone. Tara sends a long letter, apologizing again, saying she made a mistake and still loves me. She begs for counseling, promises to do anything to fix what's broken. Part of me wants to believe her, to go back to how things were, but I know it's not possible. Trust isn't something you can patch with apologies. I met with her once, in a public place. We talk for hours. There are tears, anger, even laughter at old memories. But in the end, there's too much damage. She finally admits it. She was unhappy for a long time, but couldn't tell me. Hearing it hurts, but I needed the truth. We agree to separate, at least for now. It's not the ending I wanted, but it's honest. For the first time in months, I feel a little bit lighter. The weeks after are brutal, mourning not just my marriage, but the future I thought I had. I throw myself into work, lean on friends, and slowly rebuild my routines. Sometimes, grief and anger crash over me in waves. Other times, I catch glimpses of peace, walking outside, laughing with my brother, waking up without dread for the first time in ages. Therapy helps. I learned that none of this was my fault. I learned how to set boundaries, how to be kind to myself, how to let go, bit by bit, of the resentment. I stop checking Tara's messages. I delete photos that hurt too much. I start making new memories, ones that don't revolve around someone else's secrets. There are setbacks. There are days I miss her, or miss the comfort of believing everything was okay. But mostly, I'm learning to live honestly, even if that means being alone for a while. Self-respect is a slow, hard-earned thing, but it's worth it. Looking back, I wish I'd trusted my instincts sooner. I wish I'd confronted the problems in our marriage before they exploded. But mostly, I'm proud that I finally stood up for myself and refused to live in denial. Betrayal hurts in a way I can't fully describe. It shatters your sense of safety and makes you question everything. But it also forced me to grow. If you're reading this and something feels off in your relationship, don't gaslight yourself. Ask the hard questions. You deserve honesty, respect, and a partner who chooses you every day. Walking away was the hardest thing I've ever done, but it was also the first step toward getting my life back. Healing isn't linear. Some days I feel strong, other days I still ache. But I'm learning to be okay with both. If you're facing something similar, know this. You're not alone, and you're stronger than you think. Thanks for listening, Reddit.